I want to talk. Who will end up killing who? Perhaps you'll kill me. Perhaps I'll kill you. You know that, don't you?
Hey everybody, welcome to Token to Review. I'm Anthony.
I'm Addison.
Today we'll be looking at the latest DC animated film, or adaptation you could call it, and that is The Killing Joke, or Batman The Killing Joke, to make sure we have everything set out.
Right.
So this is going to be a quick review. We're going to do the overall thoughts, the pros, the cons, and then we're going to give a rating for you. All right, so basically, The Killing Joke was the Alan Moore story that was basically what, spoilers. I guess we should point out real quick that this review is going to be full of spoilers and, over the movie and over the graphic novel, obviously. So just want to get that out there. Anyway, so Killing Joke was the Alan Moore story that was kind of the origin of how Batgirl got into a wheelchair. This is what led to Barbara Gordon becoming Oracle. It also was, in some aspects, the last Batman Joker story.
Right.
But we'll get to that eventually. Anyway, this is the story where Joker goes through and tries to break Commissioner Gordon, and he shoots Barbara Gordon and puts him through psychiatric torture, and it sends Batman after him. And this is kind of when Batman's trying to figure out, hey, this is where, we're at the end. Eventually one of us is going to kill the other.
Yeah.
But that's a little bit too much for everyone else. So overall, what are your thoughts on the movie? Overall, from beginning to end, what were your thoughts?
I can honestly say I liked half of this movie.
Yeah.
I liked half of this movie. Because for some reason, it makes some sense because the comic itself isn't that long.
No, it's like 30 pages.
Yeah, so to make a feature-length movie, they had to add some stuff on, and for some reason they decided to add a Barbara Gordon storyline, which wasn't that good.
Well, they did that because they wanted you to feel something. Because in the book, she just is collateral damage.
Right.
And a lot of people had an issue with that she was solely there to be a victim. In this, they add a little bit more, more than we wanted. But I actually will disagree. I don't, we're getting into the pros and cons. But just to throw it out there. So this movie, like we said, is a very short graphic novel. So they had to add more stuff to it. It's not like The Dark Knight Returns where we could make 2 movies out of it. This actually could have been an episode or a short, about 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
But so they added an entire second storyline to it, which follows Barbara Gordon and Batman's relationship as they take on a new character that's solely created for this movie named Paris France. He is a sociopath and shows very much Joker tendencies. And that's why Batman was so concerned about Barbara going up against someone like this. It also focuses on Barbara's feelings towards Batman and Batman's feelings vice versa. I
never understood what Bruce Timm's obsession with these Batman and Batgirl's relationship.
Yeah,
because that's not. It's so creepy.
It is.
It's
weird because you think, okay, well, it's not that weird.
No,
it's like 30, and she's in college or out of
college.
College.
It's not her age. It's just who she is. She's his friend's daughter, someone he trusts more than anyone.
Yeah, his colleague's daughter, his
surrogate
girlfriend of his surrogate son.
Yeah, so it's like you're dating your son's ex-girlfriend, which it's just weird.
Yeah, it was.
And it's almost kind of like the idea of a boss dating one of his employees.
Yeah. Well, he has a phrase in it. He says, "We are partners, but we're not equal. Not even close." I like that phrase. It was Batman laying it down there.
Yeah, it'd be cool if he said that to Robin, not to someone he's about to have sex with.
Okay, yeah. Well, there's the other thing. There's a sex scene. Not as bad as people were saying, because a lot of people online so I was at Ragbri. And so, which is a bike ride across Iowa, so I really had no service. But when I did, I got to see just the clickbait titles, and it's "Sex Scene Ruins Killing Joke," and so it's like, oh, I knew that was in there. We'll get to that, but overall, this has 2 stories. It's kind of a Batgirl centric story, and then it's Killing Joke, and the jump from one storyline to another. It's almost like watching a TV show. It reminds me of the last Batman. Batman versus Robin, I think it was the one
with Court of Owls.
Yeah, with the Court of Owls.
Yeah, that's
Where
Batman
it
versus
fe-
Robin.
Where it felt like 3 episodes merged into one.
Yeah.
And this one felt like 2 episodes of 2 episodes of Batman the Animated Series. That's what I took this as. I took this as this was the animated series world.
The new adventures. The new adventures.
Yeah,
of
the new
Batman.
adventures.
Yeah.
So with that, because she wears the Batgirl costume from the animated series, she has Tara Strong's voice. Like we should mention, if you didn't know, it's returning voices of Mark Hamill, Kevin Conroy, and Tara Strong, and they even introduced Greg Wise as Commissioner Gordon, which I thought was a great thing. I
Yeah.
also thought that he would make a great Commissioner Gordon in real life, if he wanted to play a live action Commissioner
Yeah.
Gordon. I feel like that would work.
I'll take my buff J.K. Simmons.
Yeah,
instead.
First of all, no one's gonna take anything from buff J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
So like I said, 2 storylines, and then it ends with Killing Joke, and it ends up roughly. So that's overall kind of what to expect. Now we're gonna go into the pros and cons. So give me your 5 pros, 5 cons, or 5 pros first. Let's make it 3, so then I can have some, because 5 kind of will go over everything.
Right. So, my first pro is the voice actors. So,
Okay.
of course, you have a great cast, like he said, Conroy, Hamill, Strong, Wise. It's
You
just,
feel really cool for doing all last names.
Yeah. So yeah, it's and having Bruce Timm kind of be an executive producer, because he hasn't been a producer of these animated films.
The last movie he did was
was
Gods and Monsters.
Yeah, Gods and
was
Monsters.
great.
Because now they're into that the New 52 movies, like
That super
War.
style.
yeah, War and whatever. So it's cool to have the kind of like the old team, the band back together. The animation I actually thought was pretty decent. There were some times it was kind of shaky for me, but I thought it worked. It worked more than it didn't. Another one is my third pro is actually the second half, which is actually from
The adaptation part.
the whole book. After you get past the Barbara Gordon storyline, you get right into the Killing Joke, and it works. And it was a great adaptation. And then you also kind of realize that the comic you're reading, it's like, oh, that's such a cool ending and whatever. But then when you actually watch it, you're like, oh, I really want to know more now. Because when you read the comic, you're like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to read anymore. But when you watch that, you want to know more about what happened.
So I agree. The animation for me was incredible. I love the style that they use, which is not like the new stuff that they're doing in the New 52 style, where you see kind of everyone has like a little bit of armor and texture. This is so solid, so there's the animation seamless. So the movement is because they're all solid colors. I really like that. I liked the first half, honestly. I think aside from the sex scene, I really enjoyed the Barbara Gordon storyline. I think it was cool. I almost wish that they would take the Paris France character and put him into maybe the new Rebirth series.
Mm-hmm.
Not right away, but like that could be her villain, is that Barbara Gordon faces off against her own sociopath, who isn't a Joker, but he's a sadistic, and it'd be kind of cool to have like the stalker, like even Batgirl has a stalker, someone who's who does crimes just it's like her Joker, but does it just to get her attention.
Yeah.
So I like that first storyline. I liked about how Barbara Gordon talks about you see the abyss and how that's why she quit. I really liked the music. I like the music. The soundtrack was set really well, though it was iffy at certain points.
Yeah.
But I definitely I'm pro soundtrack. So
Right.
those are my big 3, and it's always nice to have Kevin Conroy back.
Of course.
So
His laugh was really weird, though.
yeah, his last name was weird. But so then let's go to cons.
All right.
So 3 cons that you had with the movie.
My cons it was actually the first half of the movie. It felt so disconnected from the Killing Joke, because it was just the only connection was.
So you're talking about the transition.
Yeah, the
Because
transition.
the transition, I agree. The transition made no sense. It was
because
weird.
they like came up with like some really weird fake connection for why Batman went to go see the Joker in the Arkham Asylum. Was because
The dentist.
yes, some dentist
Well, no,
disappear from
it was a thing that showed he was back in town, but he said he was going there no matter what because he had to talk to him about.
Yeah, which was like I don't know. It was just kind of stupid. It was like 5 dentists went missing 3 years ago, and they found him in a old stand up room where it looked like someone was doing stand up comedy.
Mhm.
It was just really weird. The second one was Batgirl in the first half.
Yeah.
They made her so whiny and so like there's actually a scene where there's a boyfriend yelling at his girlfriend about being clingy, and it was just like, that's Batgirl. Batgirl was so clingy in this, and it was just so weird to see her character, how she's usually a tough character, and she's strong and able to stand on her own. But in this one, she was really just nipping at the heels of Batman, just like, notice me, notice me, notice me, until you're just like, oh my gosh, will someone just just quit? And she quit, and then unfortunately she got shot. But no, yeah, I thought they just, I wouldn't say they did her a disservice, but it was just not a good.
I think they. I liked the way they played her.
I
don't
didn't.
think that was a
I thought
negative.
she was way too whiny for me.
No, I will agree. Transition was weird. I liked the story. I just felt like it didn't connect. I know they didn't want to alter the story too much, but
They could have found a better way.
Yeah, they could have found a better way of
connecting the
moving the
two
two stories. Well, it went from a Barbara Gordon narrative to a Batman narrative, and that was strange.
Yeah. Because overall the story is a Batman Joker story.
Yeah.
Where Batman felt like not even a secondary character. He felt like a third character.
Mhm.
Because it was just like, okay, we're dealing with Barbara Gordon, and now, okay, we're following Batman. It was kind of like Batman Assault on Arkham, where it was more about the Suicide Squad, but for some reason Batman's name was in it.
I liked.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just
gonna lie, I really
saying
liked
how
that.
it should have been called Suicide Squad Assault on Arkham instead of Batman Assault on Arkham. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Batman sells it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and my third one was, oh man, I had it. Say yours, and I'll try to remember
mine's a
mine.
sex scene.
Oh,
thought-
that's it. Actually, I remember now. The R rating. Why was it an R rating?
Yeah.
There was
no real point
other-
aside from
Other than some headshots, I don't see why it got this R rating that everyone was like, "Oh, it's gonna be R."
yeah. There was
Why?
not barely any cussing. There was
We saw no.
barely any violence.
Jim Gordon was naked. We didn't even see butt. Like you think
Didn't
like,
even see
oh
the crack.
yeah, no
you're
crack.
right.
We didn't. The freaking gargoyle that was watching Batman and Batgirl saw more than we did.
Yeah.
Which was was probably
let's point out there was a sex scene between Batman and Barbara Gordon or Batgirl when there's like I guess there's a lot of heightened tension and then
snap.
but it's not even like a sex scene. It's just implied because
Oh,
kisses him, they jump on top, she takes her top off, but yeah, there's it's not
wait,
a sex scene.
but then
Everyone
they-
keeps
but then
talking
they
about there was
say-
this big sex scene that ruined the movie, and it was just weird. It took
it
me
was
out of
weird.
It. Took me out of it.
But it was. They
Or
did have
put me in
sex
it.
because that's what all they said was like Barbara was talking to him on the phone. She's like, "Why aren't you talking to me? It was just sex. It didn't have to mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything to me. I don't care." And
Yeah.
that's when I was like, "Okay, this is
I was
starting
like,
to
so
become."
please tell me that Barbara Gordon's not a 15-year-old because that's how she sounds. You're right. She did sound really whiny, and she got to this like 15-year-old girl status where she was.
And then she kept talking to her gay best friend about like this
The yoga instructor.
The yoga instructor. He's like, "Oh, he's the boss, and whatever he says goes."
I'm the best student he's ever had.
Yeah, I'm the best student he's ever had. I was just like, it was so. It was just
strange.
weird. Yeah, she felt like a teenager, which made this whole relationship even weirder. And also, how Batman just kind of laid there and was just like,
Yeah, it was strange.
yeah, because
And then he avoided her afterwards.
Yeah, which was
He was definitely he showed that Batman is a man. He after it happened, he kind of like got to put some distance on her.
yeah. So yeah, my 3, the R rating was unnecessary, and they hyped it for no reason.
Mm.
That the first half of the movie and whatever my second one was, I forgot.
Okay. Like I said, for me, it's easy. The sex scene was weird. I loved having Mark Hamill back, but seeing him in this Joker was weird.
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy always sounds the same, but this Joker sounds older, a little darker, and it's just for me, it's strange to see a Joker that doesn't look like he'd fit in the Animaniacs world.
Yeah.
That's with the
Well, that song and dance he did felt like it would fit in the Animaniacs.
That's true. But no, it was. I mean, I enjoyed the movie, but yeah, that took me out of it. Sex scene, Mark Hamill's voice and this character design was a little strange.
Yeah. The animation itself was smooth, but the character design of all the characters, like there were some,
I didn't like Batman and Joker's design.
they looked very blocky.
Yeah, Batman's looked strange.
Yeah.
But character design was, I love the Batgirl look because it looked just like from the animated series, just a little bit more definition.
Mhm.
And I think lastly, it was the transition. I think the transition between the two stories was really weird and hard to keep up with.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's me. And you know, everyone has their own point of view. As you're gonna go online, you're gonna see a bunch of different people talk about how much they hated it, how much this ruined everything. And granted, they said this is an adaptation. And for the most part, if you just watch the second half, it follows the book.
It is the comic.
It
all
is the
way.
comic.
It's just the first half is just
So
because I don't know if it's
and
supposed
it doesn't
to,
alter. Like you could easily not watch the first half,
and you're fine.
and yeah, completely fine. So
It just felt like they were trying to get sympathy for her, but you're almost at a point where you're so annoyed with her.
you want her to get shot.
No, not annoyed. but
Okay,
you're
that's
just
what,
kinda,
I was wondering where you're going with that.
no, like you don't want her to get shot. You don't want anyone to get shot, but she was just so annoying. Where like, because again, she didn't get shot because she was Batgirl. She got shot because
she's the daughter of
yeah.
Commissioner Gordon.
And I mean,
he
it's
wanted
same.
and Joker wanted to prove that he could break anyone.
Yeah.
As crazy as he is.
So I mean, again, if it was like Jim Jr., from what's it called, from year one, same thing. It's the idea of killing someone that's close to you.
yeah,
So
Well,
that's why I was
that
kind
might
of
have been interesting. Another interesting story to have him a family tie that was crazy,
right.
or mentally insane or sociopath. That would have been interesting.
So I would have been okay with if they didn't need that extra Barbara Gordon
No.
storyline. They could just, again, it wasn't like, oh, I'm shooting you because you're the female daughter of this guy that I want to kill. It's like, no, I'm proving a point that any one bad day will make anyone like
And
me.
that's the tagline.
Yeah.
The only thing different between you and I is one bad day. In this movie, we got to see the origin of the Joker, or their origin of, he was the man, he had a wife, he needed money, and then he became Red Hood. He just, one bad day turned him into that, and he didn't test Batman. Like, you became the way you are because of one bad day.
Yeah.
So, but overall, that was our review of Batman the Killing Joke. So we're going to end with the final review. So how many tokens are you going to give it out of 10?
Out of 10, I'd give it about a 6.
A 6? Yeah, I'm going to give it a 7. I enjoyed most of the movie. There's just things that took me out of it. So it wasn't perfect. Like you said, I don't think it deserved that R rating. I think it was just caught in that hype of, we're going to have an R-rated superhero movie. And, it didn't need it.
No. Like, it was just a couple of headshots, more blood.
Barely any blood.
Barely headshots. It was just like, I think there was a total of 3 headshots in the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I would like to know, maybe because of the content, I guess. I don't know. Again, the sex scene wasn't even that great. She wasn't even wearing like a lace bra.
All right, so we're gonna end it right there. So, thanks for checking out this token nerd review of Batman: The Killing Joke. I'm Anthony.
I'm Addison.
Stay spicy, my friends.